Hi, Pastor Steve here, and we're continuing our journey cover to cover. And today we are looking at January 2's reading, which is Genesis chapters 4, 5, and 6. Now, to start off with, because we're going at a pretty rapid pace and there's so much information, I want to recommend that for those of you who want deeper study, to get yourself a Bible dictionary. One that I would recommend is the Thomas and Nelson Bible Dictionary. Very good product. Most of the Zondervan products are very good. Crossway Books, very good. You can find these on Amazon. And I'm saying that because in a 5-minute video on very potent passages, I'm not going to be able to cover everything. And so keep that in mind if you want to go a little bit deeper. Now, this section starts off with a very well-known story of Cain and Abel. It has a phrase that has come down in our culture, "Am I my brother's keeper?" after Cain killed Abel. And this phrase about how the blood of Abel cries out to God. That is a phrase that comes down to us in culture and is going to happen and be referred to in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament. What we see is the results of the fall. This hate that is there, this animosity, jealousy, all these things are the result of Genesis chapter 3 now unfolding with Adam's children. Now, there's a question that people ask all the time. Hey, where did Cain get his wife from? Well, logically speaking, it's from one place. Adam and Eve had lots of children. The scripture says so in the section that we read. These sons and daughters ultimately married, and because they lived extraordinary length of years, the result is that there were many, many children. And we would have to believe by faith that God is preserving the genetic line, and the pristine gene pool at this point doesn't seem to be a problem of marrying your sister, marrying your brother. So that's a simple answer to that question. Now, why is it that people lived these extreme ages? Well, that's a good question. Ultimately, we don't have a formal or perfect answer for that. And many times we're going to read things in the Bible. My brother used to put it this way: I'm going to put that on the shelf until I can ask the Lord when I get to glory. And there is some of those things in this passage. But when it comes to the length of ages, we are again in a different world than our own. At this point, because we are pre-flood, pre-Noah's flood, there is a cloud cover over the entire earth. And some have speculated that this protection from people getting direct rays that would age us could have been a part of that. I don't want to claim to know the science on that, but I do trust the book, and I trust that these ages were what happened. The author, we believe to be Moses, goes out of his way to record his accounts that came down to him. So that is probably what happened, but we know that these people lived exceedingly long time. But then as we come to the chapter 6, we're introduced to a very important person, again in the foundation of the scripture, and his name is Noah. And what makes Noah stand out is because he is going to be the one who survives this flood that God is bringing. Now, according to the text, the reason why this flood has come is because in just a brief time, humanity has made a wreck of this earth. And God has decided he's going to start fresh with Noah. Now, there are all kinds of questions that we can ask about why did God want to destroy the earth? And why the animals? Why this complete destruction? These are complex and deeply philosophical questions. But there are some principles that we need to hold to. One is, if God is the creator, he has the right, by virtue of being the creator, to remake his creation. Now, we're going to be dealing with the issues of the problem of evil all through the scriptures, and we'll be unfolding them in a deeper way. But right now, what we can see and what I can hold on to is that Noah found grace in God's eyes. He is going to be somebody that God is going to save and preserve. And what I see for my own journey as I'm reading this scripture is I want to exemplify somebody like Noah more than one of these other people that are making a wreck of things in their time, in their generation. I will not understand every detail that is written in this book for figuring out the mysteries of life or even the mysteries of Scripture. But I can find enough to help me live a better life. And so in this section of Scripture, Genesis 4, 5, and 6, what we ultimately see is evil coming to fruition with Cain killing his brother. The extremely long lifetimes giving us the foundation for how the population of the earth expanded and grew. But finally, seeing in the narrative of Noah, somebody also not perfect, but who kept his eyes on what God instructed him to do and what God instructed him to be, and the end result being he becomes the father of all of us. All right, that finishes us for today. These 5-minute videos are just scratching the surface, but I hope they help. God bless you.